really tired of people saying, oh, women empowerment, but look, she's wearing a towel on her head. People have a perception of, like, let's say Arab women, the three major B's that I want to combat using filmmaking: bombers, billionaires, and belly dancers. I'm like, enough of this.
Hello and welcome back to She Leads the Way. I'm your host, Nikki Bedford, and on today's episode, we're joined by Nayla Al Khaja. She is UAE's first female producer, filmmaker and screenwriter. She has 2 shorts on Netflix and her first feature film in cinemas at the moment, 3, which we're going to talk about. She can speak 4 languages and she's a top-tier speaker of the London Speakers Bureau. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about her incredible career. We'll talk about the future of filmmaking and a couple of projects that she's currently working on and has worked on. Nayla, welcome.
Nikki, so good to see you.
So good to see you as well. So I'd love to kick us off. Give us a bit about your background and how you made your way into filmmaking.
Great. So very, very early on, my dad is a film collector, which obviously makes it so much easier because as a child I watched so many movies. And I was just really tired of people saying things like, oh, women empowerment, but look, she's wearing a towel on her head.
Oh gosh,
that's not nice.
No, I wasn't actually expecting that.
No,
Is that
but
what you
it's
had?
just, yeah, I've had so many comments like these, and people have a perception of, like, let's say Arab women or Arab period, like, you know, in general. And I think this is like the 3 major B's that I want to combat using filmmaking, and that's like they always associate us with the 3 B's, and that's bombers, billionaires, and belly dancers. I'm like, enough of this.
Please.
Enough.
Yeah, there's more.
And it's like the bad Arabs, like, always painted in such a vicious light. And there's over, like, I mean, I don't know how many Arabs there are in the world. I don't know the exact number at the moment. 2024 must be a massive number. But nevertheless, it's very important to use my voice in whatever capacity I can through the arts and culture to be able to portray women from my world in a very different palette and light that they're used to. And I'm proud of my shayla and my costume, you know, my culture, my tradition. That doesn't mean anything to a lot of us. It's very empowering. We really enjoy it. There's a lot of positives about it. One of the coolest positives, if you think that, you know, that women are oppressed because they have a certain way of looks. For instance, as a child, I took advantage because, you know, if I'm in a place, when I say child, I mean like 19, because I'm 46. My birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. And my sister's today, so it's like crazy. So it's like, if this is a place, I'm in a place and I'm really avoiding someone, I'm sure that's happened. It's like, oh God, not her or not him, right? All I have to do is just take my head scarf and just like cover my face for literally, like, you know, whatever, 2 minutes or 3 minutes and like escape.
Have you found that yourself doing that a lot?
Course,
oh my gosh, so that's something that I can't take advantage of.
I know, so there you go. There are advantages. I mean, I'm being absolutely silly.
Of course, no,
and
I know,
of course,
please.
I respect my culture, but I'm just saying that, you know, it's very easy to go and judge others when you're not really in their shoes and you haven't like lived their lives.
Yeah.
And it's not gloom. It's been such an incredible journey for me. I think women in film in general go through a harsh environment, regardless of their religion, culture, background, nationality, etc. I mean, there's 3% cinematographers in the world. 3%.
Wow.
That is, I would say, murder on the dance floor. Like, that's just completely unacceptable.
That are females?
Yes.
3%?
Cinematographers. And there are like 9% of directors who have work like released.
Yeah.
Producers, however, are female, 33%. But if you look at the overall picture, it's really bleak. So these success stories like Barbie and whatnot, they are not the norm, right? They're just like the anomaly every now and then.
Forgive me, the difference between a cinematographer and a producer?
Mm-hmm. So that's fine. So a cinematographer is like a DOP, like someone who understands how to paint with light, someone who operates the camera team.
Okay.
In charge of the camera.
Yes.
So he's the director, she's the director of the camera department.
Okay.
Yeah, whereas the director directs the film and then a producer is what I call the captain of the ship. Yeah, like basically can hire the director, get the script, packages, puts everything together.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, the producer is probably the most underestimated and the most grueling role of any role in filmmaking.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And so you had a fire in your belly from a very young age because of your father, but you would have obviously experienced a completely different path to him being a woman. Mm-hmm. When you moved through and thought, okay, I want to do this for real, was it more because you saw the disparity of how you were treated, or was it also because you were completely passionate about it?
I was extremely passionate about storytelling, and I remember my nanny when I was young, you know, a lot of my arguments would be my mom would be so upset because I think twice I managed to damage our curtains because I was always making shows.
Of course.
And I would start pulling on them, and they're like, okay, I think it's enough. So I was like really into theater and performance, performing arts, and then got into movie making. But that kicked in a bit later. I was more into fine arts at the very beginning. I actually thought I'm going to be a full-time painter, and I even applied to Scotland, Dundee. Don't even ask why.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, that was my crazy journey.
So you've always been incredibly creative. Has it always been behind the camera? Have you ever been like, oh, I want to dabble in front of the camera? No, you're like, no.
No, that's like a nightmare for me. I was actually put in a situation where my main actress bailed out 24 hours before our shoot in India.
No.
In India, where there's no chance I'm going to find an Arab this soon and get visa and all that jazz. So I had no choice but to be the character.
Oh, how did you find it?
Good, because no one's seen it.
Wait, tell us what it is.
It's a really good plot, though. It's called Malal, which translates to boredom.
Yes.
And it's about an arranged marriage. And the husband and wife, they go to India, and the wife is bored out of her mind because they're just like not a good fit.
Yeah.
He's not an evil guy or anything. He's just, to her, he's really boring. Yeah. And he's into pharmaceuticals.
Gosh.
So, so she kind of feels really left out that he's a workaholic on her honeymoon. And there's like zero spark between them. So she wanders in the forest and gets lost. And I'm going to keep it to that.
Oh my gosh. And so you played the main character.
Yeah, the bored wife.
Oh my gosh, the bored wife. Oh, that would be quite a good character to play, actually. You just roll your eyes the whole time, would you?
Exactly. No, I was like more frantic as I was rolling my eyes and jumping from frogs in the Tata plantation in India. But
I love that. Congrats.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
I think that's a great segue into 3, which is out in cinemas at the moment. And I'm excited about it because I have seen it and I saw it this week.
Thank you.
I must admit, when I first looked at it, I had no doubt I was going to watch it, knowing that I was meeting you. But then when I saw it, I was like, oh no, is it going to be a horror? And I can get quite scared easily. But the storyline, and yes, sometimes I was like, oh gosh, but it was such an incredible story. It was in Arabic and there were English subtitles, but parts of it were in English. But genuinely, the suspense and the story kept me engaged the whole time.
So the Arabic component wasn't a deterrent? Like you didn't
Not
say...
at all.
You
No.
easily followed the storyline?
I easily followed the storyline.
good.
I easily followed the storyline.
Because the idea was, for me, was to do a cross-cultural psychological drama.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's a better fit than a horror, to be honest with you.
I think so too, actually, because I think there was times that I thought, something's going to jump out at me now, I need to cover my face. But
it's not that kind of horror.
It's not. It is that psychological where it's you thinking about it. And
yeah, it's very much embedded in realism, and this is why I didn't like use the typical tropes of like levitation and these other kind of, which I could have done because we had an amazing VFX team from Poland, but I decided to keep it very real, and I think that's what makes it even more scary.
Yes.
That it's not like over the top exaggeration, and I think it does attract an older crowd because of that.
Yeah, but also because it's based on a true story.
Yes.
When things are based on a true story,
I can give you some tips. Tips? Not tips. Sorry, God, no. I can give you some trivia.
Trivia. Oh my gosh, I would love trivia.
So this was a true story that I had to go through myself. I mean, I'm not the boy, but I had to go through myself when I was 16. So it was a very traumatic experience because I saw someone really close to me suffering for, I would say, almost a year and a half.
Yes.
And a lot of the scenes in the film, like the girl in the bathroom, that's me. The girl's me. Yeah, so it was quite visceral shooting that scene. It was quite intense.
When I saw it, I thought, oh no, please be okay, please.
Yeah, so we use symbolism a lot because we can't show everything, but and that's what makes it quite poignant because it's somebody's life. It's a family that actually did go through walk through hell and back. So I didn't want to, sensationalize it so much, and this is why I chose this path rather than like going extremely commercial and traditional with it. Yeah.
And so I have a couple of questions, but nothing that will reveal too much for those that haven't seen it because you must go and see it. But it obviously touches on very sensitive subjects, from a mental health perspective with the boy. Can you tell me what was your inspiration by creating this film based on this? I'm
quite attracted to stories that tap into coming of age.
Yes.
And, and broken families, I guess, because I come from one myself, so it makes sense that I can talk from that point of view. Usually, like, movies are a reflection of what filmmakers go through. So I'm very much keen on a very dark palette because I like painting with light, but more so young boys that are struggling with puberty, that are struggling with finding a voice, that are struggling with a broken home. And I've done this quite some, like for instance, my film Animal, although it's a girl, but in real life it's a boy. That's on Netflix at the moment.
Yes.
That's also about the same age, like 12.
Yeah.
And she goes through this deep fear as well. So yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. My next question is, I know that we were talking about it before around the AI element.
Yeah.
Actually, wait, sorry, before I ask that,
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil the ending because when I saw it, I was like, oh, you're kidding. Oh my goodness. Do you know these people personally? Do you know like the people in your...
Yes. Yes.
And
I know
how
them.
are they doing?
They're okay.
Okay.
They're doing really well, actually.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
And no
Alright.
one jumped from the balcony. No one died. Nothing crazy happened.
No.
But I like it when people come out. They're like, "Is there going to be a part 2?"
Yeah, well, there can be though, based on the ending.
100%. Like,
And
it's a crazy clue.
I was like, my jaw was dropped. At
Did
the
you have
end.
like an aha moment?
I was like, oh my gosh, yes.
And I mean, I don't know if anybody was there, but did you hear people gasp in the
Yeah,
end?
definitely.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
I
think
love that moment.
I do believe I was the loudest. I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like,
That's funny. I love it. I love it when women watch my film because they're the loudest. It's
Yeah, we are the loudest.
Their reactions are hilarious. Yeah. It's funny. And also Arabs have very different sensibilities than expats, like when they watch my film, because a lot of the humor usually sometimes like goes over the expats, like, they just don't get it because obviously it's rooted from our
Yes.
culture. So and then like in Saudi, the Saudis found it more... they thought it was a comedy horror. I was shocked.
Really?
I'm like, what? And even in Saudi, they were laughing at scenes that no one laughed at here. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not funny. But for whatever reason, they thought a lot of the scenes were funny.
Yes.
So there was like constant laughter. I'm like, this is so interesting. But in the UAE, the Emirati crowd took it very seriously. And they only laughed when it was actually meant to be funny.
yeah.
So that was also like an eye-opener how, although we're all Arabs, the audiences in the Arab world are so different. Like a film that did insanely well in Saudi, it grossed $12 million US, didn't even get like this much in the UAE.
Wow.
It tanked here. Yeah,
That's
and vice versa. My film, for example, 3, we expected it to do so well in Saudi. It didn't.
Really?
But it did brilliantly in the UAE, like absolutely
interesting.
brilliant. Like on the second week, we saw an increase of 35% in tickets,
Yeah.
not in Saudi. Although, interestingly enough, it's doing really well in Cairo.
Interesting. See,
I
I wouldn't
know.
have expected there to be such a difference
Yeah, I
between
know.
these markets especially.
No, we don't have like a united front in sense of cinema culture and sensibilities. So
okay.
big lessons.
Yeah.
Absolutely big lessons. So if you want to like do super well in Egypt, my gut feeling would be like get an Egyptian star and do something that Egyptians like,
Yes.
and then for Saudis, same thing, get a Saudi star.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we don't have like, a massive, like the US where it's a huge market and then Hollywood like reigns everywhere.
Yes.
Worldwide. But yeah,
one day.
maybe. Let's
Definitely.
see if the tastes come
Take
closer.
it to Australia.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the next stop. So I want to talk about AI now because we have some breaking news. But obviously AI
yes.
is such a big part of today. So if you're able to create something that moves its way into AI, it's, going to progress. Can you share the breaking news that you have with us? And
100%.
How
So
moving?
a few days ago, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, with a lot of ambassadors, we launched an event and we broke the news that my film 3 is the first Emirati/Arab film that last year actually went through a process called Camp AI, where they translate the film into 100 plus languages using the voices of my actors. So
Wow.
like the actors that you saw, they will speak in Mandarin, but it will be their voices. And I know that this is a technology that a lot of people actually know about, but with this, this particular company has like advanced it very
Yes.
well, And I'm very excited to see it. It's going to re-release. How crazy is this? In 2 weeks again.
Oh my gosh.
The whole process
the
starts
whole
again.
whirlwind is going to start again.
I know, for like the I think the total number is now up to almost 400,000
Wow.
Chinese population here in the UAE, and basically anyone who could speak Mandarin, really.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think it becomes a little bit more authentic to the film then when the characters sound like the original characters. So
Correct, yes.
Even though they're speaking Mandarin
Yeah,
now.
because if you look at typical dubbing, like, fine, the lip syncing might throw you off, but even having a voice that's so far from the actual character or the accent, it can really throw you off. So at least these things have been ironed out with this technology.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to move on now. You've basically done it all when it comes to directing, producing, screenwriting. But not only have you done short films, you've done long films, but also you've created and produced commercials as well. Like the skill set required to do that, they're completely different skill sets, as you would know behind camera. First of all, can you tell me how you found that and how you came across it?
Basically, directing TV commercials was, yes, I'm steering away now. I'm going to narrative, but it's been my bread and butter all my life. It's what really kept me.
That's where you started.
It's what gave me the fiscal side of filmmaking. It's what literally I had a company of 12 full-time staff. It's because of that I was able to buy property. Like that was really the foundation of everything. You know, I was very adamant that I wouldn't ever be a struggling artist. So I made it very clear from the very beginning. No, I'm going to find something that pays really well. And it does pay really well, and get to do what I love, which is be on set, and then take those kind of work ethics and move them into narrative filmmaking. I mean, although I have been doing this for 20 years, I have 16 shorts, and usually it's a bit naughty. It's like some of the profit from a company, then I'll go and shoot a short with it, and that's also a luxury as well to have. And by the way, for my film 3, I forgot to mention that although it's me and Ben Williams, we had a very famous Australian writer as well.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you've heard of him, but he's John Colley.
No.
He's done Master and Commander, Happy Feet, a lot of big...
Oh, Happy Feet.
Yay! She knew Happy Feet, but yeah.
That's the penguin one.
Yes, exactly. So he's quite big in Australia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he also wrote Hotel Mumbai. Not sure if you heard of that.
Can you tell me, was there anything that you took away from your commercial world to the world that you're in now with long form storytelling?
Yes, the most unbelievable thing. So I get a call one day, and it was from Annie Leibovitz's office.
Really?
Yes. And, this is, I was at that point really, really young. I was 26, 27. And we're talking literally 20 years ago. No, I lie. Could be less. But it was a long time ago. And they're like, we want you to produce the Roger Federer shoot. So I'm like, I had to keep cool. I'm like, okay, no problem.
That is such a big deal.
I know. I hanged up and I told Tasveer, okay, we need to hire more staff. We need to hire more staff. Like, call the ambulance, call the fire department, the whole thing. Annie Leibovitz coming to town.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Yeah, I know. And for those who don't know her, she's like, just Google her. She's like A++ photographer. She's done.
Which is essentially everyone knows who she is.
Yeah, they teach her in university books. She's a legend, right? And I had to I had to really, really take care of that account. So that's an account. They flew from Afghanistan to the UAE, her and the team, the whole Vogue, 20+ people from Vogue. And it was like the craziest photo shoot on earth. So this is how strange it is. Like years later, her office called me for another job in Doha. But at that time, I couldn't. I was shooting in Bangkok.
Yes.
But I was in touch with her office, and I submitted my second feature film, which I'm shooting this December. And they gave me a letter of intent saying that Annie Leibovitz would be happy to shoot 10 stills of your film. And I know, my jaw's like, but I have to find the money because, obviously it costs.
No doubt.
Which makes sense, of course.
But when that happened, was that when you were like, hey, I'm actually a big deal? Was it then that you were like,
I was thinking, I didn't upset her, I guess. I passed the exam when we did that cover for Vogue. Yeah, it's a beautiful cover for Vogue.
But even the first time when she approached you to do that, did you not think then, I'm a big deal now?
I think it wasn't that. Although I would love to take that credit. I think it was so early back in Dubai that there weren't a lot of production companies, I guess, in competition. I'm not sure what it was. But hey, I'm not going to complain.
No.
Maybe our search engine was really good. Who knows?
You had a fantastic website. It's all about personal branding.
There you go.
So I guess we're, one of the most exciting things when I had looked into it as well was your appointment as behind the scenes director of Star Trek.
That was insane.
Star Trek 3. And I think it was under the guise of the Dubai government as well, was it? So many of my friends would be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. But particularly my dad. So for him, can you please tell us a little bit about that?
People are going to hate me so much.
Oh my gosh,
because I'm not a big fan. They're like, are you out of your mind? And it's always like that in life. People who don't really care for something, they get full access to that whatever
They're like,
thing.
Please do it. You're like, man, I'm sort of booked.
Are you serious? It's like you have 5 tickets to the concert and they don't care. And like other people would die or like they would jump on that. So it was one of those situations where I was directing behind the scenes. Don't get me wrong. I had a blast.
Yes.
Like I have never seen a warehouse so massive with costumes. like, you know, all the aliens and everything else. And it was, I felt so small. I have to be honest. I was so humbled by that experience because it's such a massive, massive, massive set. You can't even imagine. So the most craziest thing is I actually got the chance to film the starship, the USS, you know, the big starship.
Yes, I know.
it came into pieces. Like, it wasn't all assembled.
Oh my gosh.
And I saw it like land, and we had to film the like components and all the massive like what do you call them? Like compartments came in, wardrobes and gadgets and tools.
My gosh.
It was out of this world. And I remember a scene in JLT, if I'm not mistaken, correct, where there were like 400 extras, and you know, these like, you know, they would like announce things on a megaphone or whatever, and it was just like, wow, this is a proper Hollywood set.
Gosh.
So yeah, for me it was eye-opening, and it was very humbling, as I said. It's not the kind of movie I enjoy watching myself, but it was a fantastic experience to be part of. And to be asked to direct behind the scenes for that film itself.
Yeah, and the things that you would see and be a part of, like, it's just such a great experience. So I want to ask you what your favorite project has been that you've worked on. Now, you have done so much: short form films, feature films, long form, commercials. Naturally, I can imagine that your baby would be 3 because that's your first feature film. You're not allowed to say 3. So anything that isn't 3, because we've spoken about 3. What has warmed your heart and you thought, oh my goodness? And you can't say Annie either.
Annie?
Anna Leibovitz.
Oh, okay. So I think the film that is very close to my heart, I would probably say Animal.
Animal?
Yes.
Which is currently on Netflix.
It's probably not strongest in terms of aesthetics and directing, but there's something about that that's so terrifyingly real. And I'm very proud of it because it cost like 2 big pizza boxes.
Yeah.
I shot this in my house and, you know, sold it for a very good number.
That's incredible.
So no, I'm very proud of that film.
And it's very personal to you as
well.
Very
personal. It's done really well at festivals. It's picked a lot of awards. You know, people prefer my second short that came after. It's also on Netflix, called The Shadow. But I think there's something about Animal that I respect more.
I haven't seen Animal yet, so I'll give it a watch.
I've seen The Shadow.
Yeah. No, I haven't.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Okay.
Yeah, most people, like, I don't know, they're attracted to The Shadow.
Okay, I will let you know.
I think maybe because the guy's really good looking.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, really?
Because they're like, oh my, who's this hot Arab guy? That's so funny. And he's like a religious clerk in the short. It's actually the proof of concept for 3.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
So everything sort of speaks
all
to
linked,
each other.
isn't it? Yeah.
I guess my next question then, based on that, now that you've brought up actors, but how do you go and select the right actor? Because that would be such an important part of the process, right? Almost, I mean, it's not the most important, but you want to make sure that your film is coming across authentically. And tell me the process. 1, just so that I know. 2, just in case I want to dabble in the acting scene. You know, give me the hot take.
So usually I do a lot of street casting, which means I hire people without. I prefer hiring people who don't have a lot of experience.
Yes,
because,
really.
Yeah, I prefer that. I mean, to me, I try to find people who are really like that in real life, that match the character.
Yeah.
So if my girl is someone who's obnoxious and loud, I literally find someone who's obnoxious and loud and who has a sense of rhythm and timing.
Yes.
You know, who's like smart and quick. And I tend to get the best performances from them. I also generally love working with kids, and I feel I'm always the best. I mean, you saw The Boy. It's his first film.
Oh, was it really?
Yes.
He was fantastic.
I thought he was phenomenal.
Truly fantastic.
Yes. And he's never like been on a movie set before.
Wow.
And he was the most professional ever. I was like, wow.
He looks like a natural.
Yeah. And he had to...
And it's a difficult...
It's a very difficult role. It was very sensitive. It was very exhausting. You know, he was crying a lot, not out of... I think it was just physical exhaustion. And it sucked, you know, like literally sucked him dry. Yeah. Like he was so dead. Almost like a zombie by day 17 because it's a 25-day shoot day. Like reversing my words.
You did that in 25 days?
Yeah.
That's really short, is it not?
No.
No, that's normal?
Yeah, for my first independent film, it's fine. Whiplash was shot in 19, if I'm not mistaken, or 20.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, we don't have money. That's what you do.
You're a fast worker. You're like, get in there.
You got to move very fast.
Wow.
And we had 1 day off, and we had like 12-hour shoots with no AC. We were dying.
Oh my gosh. Well, sometimes when it's a sensitive film.
And in COVID.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, so we had zones. We had red zones, yellow zones, because my actor was Stark, Jefferson Hall from Game of Thrones, right? He's from House of Dragon.
Yes, yes.
He's Lord Lannister, the twin brother.
Oh, cute.
And he acted with Saud, like the main actor. And he had to be zoned because obviously he belongs to a union.
Yes.
So let's say if he's one man down, we shut for 10 days. The film is dead. I was like playing Russian roulette every day.
Gosh.
Oh, the pressure was absolutely out of this world, because if that happens, I lose the day actors, which are very integral to the story because they have other series to be on.
Yeah.
That would have absolutely been game over for me.
So how do you manage all of the stress?
You don't have time to manage. You're just like on the go.
Because that's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
You're like a constant pressure
Yeah.
in this industry, especially.
Yeah. I think I'm good at this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just love it. You just get through it.
Yeah,
You're like, I'll
I
just make it
thrive
happen.
under pressure.
Yeah.
Like if there's no pressure,
Well, you'd
something
have
is
to,
wrong.
wouldn't you? Otherwise.
Yeah, no, I like it. I like speed. I like, a very high anxiety, high intense kind of film. That's why,
on
like,
you.
I would probably be good with action or heist films.
Yes.
I just love it. I just love, and the opposite is true as well, because I'm sure if you've seen 3, there are very quiet scenes, and there are scenes where you're like, wait a minute, how did this become an art house movie?
Yeah.
You know, like the hospital scene with it. I thought that was really beautifully done, not because of me, but the performances of Jefferson and Saud on screen was gorgeous.
Yeah.
I also like his performance with the mullah's son, almost towards the end. These are important moments, these breathers, I
Yeah.
call them in, right? So it's kind of reflection of my life. Like I'll have these breathers and then it will go like full
Definitely.
full action. Yeah,
It was definitely an emotional roller coaster, but I feel that you were brought with the coaster the whole time, if that makes sense. So what advice would you give to someone who wanted to break into the film industry?
Run away.
Get out of here.
No, all seriousness, I love my industry, and I'm sure if people are passionate about it, I would say the same thing I say over and over: volunteer.
Yes.
It's what happened to me. Like,
Okay.
I volunteered a lot, and I still am doing it. I mean, my husband yesterday shocked me because my birthday gift was like out of this world. He is sending me to LA. I'm like, are you trying to get rid of me? But it's not.
Was it a one-way ticket or?
He's sending me to, I can't say where and what, but it's huge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's trying to get me a seat somewhere very, very special for like 10 days to go and experience like a top director.
Oh, that's so special.
Yeah, and this is me like not being paid or anything. Like this is what I mean about volunteering. Like it doesn't matter how many films you are to career, someone's always going to be better. You're going to learn so much from other people. You need to really understand that you're always beginning from scratch.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I've arrived. No, you never arrive. Clint Eastwood is still directing at 92.
Yeah.
Like, sit down, pin down, relax. But no, for me, it's so inspiring to see that my partner is completely, like, your partners in life, they actually make you or break you. And I'm a big believer that you got to surround yourself with people who just want to see you win.
Yeah.
And that's huge. I mean, of course, you want to see yourself. But when you have that positive push, it's night and day, really.
I love that.
Destructive energy, forget it, because it's always going to be this opposing force, and you need to have serenity at home. Otherwise, how are you going to perform like when you're doing your artwork, right?
Yeah, definitely. So what I'm hearing is you have a lot of fans, as I know, but is he your number one? Is he your number one fan?
Of course, him and my children, I think. Yeah.
Your children?
Maybe my son. He's so funny. But sorry, I was going to say that it's not an easy feat. Like even when I shot 3, I think I a little bit underestimated the process, but it was so daunting at sometimes because even if I'm broken inside for whatever reason, I have to always keep my chin up. I have to always feel confident because I have to lift everyone. And at times we had 240 plus people on set, 240 to feed, transport, keep happy, maintain egos, keep this dance going on in like smooth equilibrium.
Yes,
it's something else.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad because I did it independently, which means if I ever get commissioned and get hired, I have good news for you. I'll tell you what it is. If you want to be an actress, so
well, I mean that wasn't really the.
if you want to be hired, then it will be easy for me to kind of gel in the vibe with them because it's like I've walked, on top of let's say Mount Everest, and now they're gonna like just literally put me on the peak through a helicopter. Like the next time be easier, right? If you get commissioned work.
Of course.
So this takes me to the next news. So now I am. After this experience, I got signed by Zero Gravity Management, who did Ozark, the series on Netflix.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
Thank you so much. And big shout out to Sarah Arnott, who's my manager and who's like literally dropping in.
Go, Sarah.
Throwing like amazing stuff at me, scripts, screenplays, series. So you never know.
Oh gosh, well, I mean, that wasn't the intention really. I sort of, anyway. But yeah,
so it's just really great to have a manager, and I can really see this being like the start of my journey into global filmmaking. Especially like my second film has A.R. Rahman, who's very, very big in India. He's a great composer, and he's composing my entire score for my next feature. He actually flew to KSA to watch 3 at the world premiere.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, that's so special.
It's extremely amazing. I'm just speechless, so grateful to him. And he really believes in my work and my talent. So to have that kind of faith coming from a legend himself, it's so amazing.
A solid support network around you.
Yeah, he's so good.
So in terms of the film industry, so you've been in it for 20 years, which is huge, and you would have seen so many changes. What changes do you foresee in the future when it comes to film? Because, you know, with AI, with, you know, more digital world, with streaming platforms.
If cinema starts flipping their screen and making them vertical, I'm going to get into cooking.
You're going to get into what? Cooking?
Anything else but film. Like, please don't do that.
So what, is that what you think is coming?
We'll stand and watch a movie then?
So what they want, so as in like lay down and it's on the ceiling?
No, but you know how you see stories, everybody's as used to the vertical world.
Oh, yes.
Even when I was shooting, I'll tell you the phase that really got under my skin. So now when I was like directing TVCs, like for a lot of big brands, you know, I don't want to mention brands, but a lot of big brands. And then eventually, a few years ago, everyone would be like, well, the client will come, did we shoot this for vertical? Did we shoot this? I'm like, like my eyes start twitching because you have like this gorgeous, beautiful, anamorphic lens.
Oh my gosh.
That does this stunning landscape. And then they're like, did you shoot it for vertical? I'm like, someone shoot me right now. So I'm just so glad cinema won't enter the vertical, or please no.
Oh my gosh, that's so
I
funny.
can't anticipate that. But of course, AI is huge. AI is going to absolutely change dynamics of landscaping stuff. But I don't think it will ever get in the point where it will completely take over the nuances of human acting.
Yes.
It will come for sure, but maybe not during my lifetime. Maybe, who knows? But I think I'll be like 90 plus when it's completely taken over. But by then, they'll probably kill us all. I'm very optimistic.
So that wraps us up.
Yeah, what was that
Where
film?
we gone?
Exactly, yeah. Like every film in sci-fi is coming true, you know, like flying cars.
I know, that's scary. And
it's very scary, yeah.
Every time, I think The Simpsons has also projected everything that has happened, like everything. So watch out.
I think our grandparents were lucky to live that time.
I know,
the golden
more simpler
era.
Time, no social media,
right?
Just sort of living life.
Less noise, less depression, happier times, more in touch with reality and nature. Yeah. Really, truly, I mean, yeah, I think there was a golden age.
So then if you weren't a film producer, what would you do? If it was not anything to do with this industry?
At all.
At all.
Acting, no
so
producing.
So if you woke up tomorrow and you were told you can't do this, what would you do?
I'd be an ambassador.
An ambassador?
Yeah.
No, I'd not for the film industry.
Oh, no. Like literally, not like hardcore politics, but I would probably, I think I would be a good ambassador.
I think you would too. You're very well spoken.
But thank God I'm not. With all due respect to ambassadors, I think they're very important with the role they play. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like film inside out.
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing anything else.
That's amazing. I think it's really special that you found what your passion was from an early age as well, and you've just fulfilled that. So it's been really, really nice speaking to you.
Thank you. And if I wasn't so chubby and looked like SpongeBob,
stop it.
I say this in a very like light, dark. My grandma had a dark humor, so it's like make sure you fit in the door. But she
make sure you fit in the door.
Yeah, and she knew how I was so obsessed with ice skating.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think maybe if I do quit my very short 4-year terms of ambassadorship, I'd probably jump into ice skating. I used to ice skate as a child a lot for years. Yeah, I was actually really...
We'll have to go.
Like the whole twirl.
Yeah. Did you jump?
I didn't jump yet, but I was, I think, 11 when I stopped. So I started very young at 6. So I reached not 6, 7, I think. 7 I started. And then Uncle Masoud used to take me there. And then I went with my cousins and we'd skate a lot. And then I at some point I stopped. It wasn't, didn't take it seriously. But I think that's like, whenever I do see people skate, my heart like beats an extra beat. So I know there's passion there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but I'm very happy doing what I'm doing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I guess the last question is, what's next for you? What are you excited about that's coming up?
Sleep.
Sleep. I mean, granted, you've just launched your feature film and now it's getting released in Mandarin.
It is exhausting to self-distribute. We have had our first offer for world sales, which is great. Thank you so much. So hopefully that goes through and then I could just like relax a little bit. And then we have to go back to the drawing board and get ready for feature number 2.
Wow.
Because we're shooting in December. Oh,
okay.
So we need, if you reverse engineer, you need at least 6 to 7 months to get to that point of shooting, which is good. The weather will be very nice as well still. And I'm shooting the entire film in Ras Al Khaimah. And it's a goth, it's goth fantasy drama,
Oh my gosh, random.
It's very romantic and dark.
Oh, is it?
It's beautiful. It's about the 5 stages of death.
Oh, beautiful. My most favorite stages.
No, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. I mean, I have no idea, but also I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's the macabre that's painted with so much beauty because it's a journey of a woman who goes through, who's grieving, obviously, but she hears things. She has tinnitus, a disease of the ear.
Yes.
Because I had it when I was pregnant, so it was inspired. Oh. Yeah, I had it when I was pregnant, so it was inspired from the ringing. So her ear starts ringing, and then her dead sister has a room, and there's like a ritual in the north where you can't open a dead person's room for 1 year because you might open secrets or it's a curse. You're going to open a curse with it. That's a tagline I love.
Really?
Yeah, some doors should remain closed. And that's the tagline of the film. And it's called Door, which is Bob. So obviously being naughty herself and very curious to why her mom's so adamant that the door shouldn't open. So she, steals the key and then the journey begins when she goes in the room. And something very crazy happens in the room.
Wow. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's quite dark, but really very different than 3. Yeah, it's much harder, I think. I think it'll be less actors, more contained, but tougher to
digest.
Yes, for sure.
I'm excited. This will be like I like dark.
This will be like my fine dining. Really.
Oh yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah. This will be my dish. 100% my signature. Look how excited I am, because it's completely painting with light. It's all about building intense atmosphere. I have a creepy parrot in it. I have creatures.
Parrot?
Yeah, I have a man
I'm gonna
with
lose sleep, aren't I?
I have a man that sleeps under the bed with 3 thorns in his back. It's like Pan's Labyrinth met another movie like Lobster or something, like the marriage of 2 worlds. It's crazy, but who knows?
No, I'm excited. I have no doubt that it'll be amazing based on your work.
No, based on the writer, because the writer's quite famous. He is amazing. He is what we call the godfather of Arab cinema.
Oh, really?
Yeah, super duper, like done 200 films.
Okay.
Mr. Damrallah, God bless him. Also, the #1 film collector that probably exists really. Probably not. There are other film collectors, but I know from our region, 100% he is the
nice. He's the go-to.
Yeah, he's the go-to, and he has an incredible cinema consciousness and awareness and I'm very lucky to have the man himself writing and then AR composing. I'm like between 2 giants.
Wow,
so I have to really push my weight for this one. So I'm really excited for Bob. Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm excited for you too.
Yeah. Hey, maybe we can give you a scene in the coffee shop.
Please.
You want?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
I'll be like...
Well, if you look like that, I'm not sure I can use that shot.
Wait, don't fire me yet.
It's like, what's in that coffee? Oh my God.
Whatever you need. If you need me to be a natural, no problem. I'll just... We'll brainstorm it.
I'm not sure it works if you have no, actually it does, because I think Karachi Darbar is one of these Asian restaurants, and I think a lot of expats love going there, so you'll fit in perfectly.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I'll give you very spicy food to eat as well.
No! Oh my gosh, I'll be crying in the background while I'm sipping my coffee.
It'll be very fun. It's like spotting yourself.
Yeah. All right, we'll see.
You know what's the saddest thing?
Tell me.
Is when people die to act, and I know people are burning to be in movies, even if it's a small scene. And you actually give them a full scene, and then in the end, that whole scene is removed. That happened to a few people, from 3.
You've got to, because it has to fit in, right?
I had 4 full scenes that were removed from the edit. It just didn't fit. We tried to make them work, and it didn't work. And but...
How did those conversations go?
Oh, one was relieved. He's he had anxiety about it. But I think deep inside, he wanted it to come out. But... It is what it is.
It is what it is. And if it's not now, it'll be another opportunity.
Yeah, you have to do what's best for the film.
Oh, always. So, as I mentioned at the beginning, you are a top-tier speaker at the London Speakers Bureau, advocating for women, which is timely because it's international. Top tier.
Yeah. It's we have to listen to her talk for half an hour. I feel bad for the crowd. Sometimes I have to address once I had to address 200 accountants. I'm talking accountants
Yes.
who can't express an emotion. It's like they're all staring at me like that. Nothing moves. Like they're all Botox. Nothing moves.
So you're like,
And I'm trying so hard, like jumping around like a monkey to get something out of them. My God, that was such a tough
Oh
crowd.
no, was it?
It was a tough crowd. And it's funny because once it was over, like they gave me really good feedback. I mean, they gave the London's Bureau
Yes.
really good feedback. But you just like, you can't
read them.
And it's so hard when they don't
It is
interact
hard.
with you.
It is hard as a speaker when you're on
Yeah.
stage because you really want the audience
Correct.
to sort of,
Correct.
I don't know, come on the journey with
Yeah.
you. So if they're deadpan
Yeah.
faces, it's like, okay.
Yeah. So the smallest I've ever spoken to is an audience of 20 and the biggest is 2,500.
Okay, that's a very big
That's a
difference.
big audience, yeah.
Luckily, with the two, I think with the bigger audiences, sometimes it's easier.
It's actually easier.
because you can't see their.
Thank you for bringing that. Myth buster. It is harder to speak to a smaller number of
I
people.
agree. Yeah, I agree with that based on my experience in there as well. Because 2,500, like someone out there's got to resonate with what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Whereas 20, you just feel like it's
And
an
you see
intimate
them
pool.
more.
Yeah,
Like they look at you all the time. They're
Yes.
staring at you. It's really creepy.
yeah, definitely. Can you guys stop?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thanks to Miriam Gonzalez, my agent at this London Bureau. I've been with them for 13 years. And I've spoken about everything you can imagine. Not even film. Everything that can come across your mind.
Amazing.
It's so crazy. Like even the process of library digitization from 2.0, like how do word libraries become digital? Like
Yes.
what? Like that's not even related to my work.
Yeah, wow.
But
Random. So you,
I
yeah.
can speak it.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I'll let you know when we've got something coming up as well.
So yeah.
Nayla, it has
Oh,
been
thank
so,
you.
so nice. I feel like you and I could honestly speak for hours and hours and
Yeah.
hours, but we do need to.
And guys, this
wrap
is a
things up.
censored version. We can do like a midnight podcast.
Yes, maybe we should actually.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do a bit of a midnight, like, behind closed doors.
And all the
situation.
horror that actually happened on set behind the scenes.
No, oh my gosh. You'll just hear me screaming and squealing the whole time.
Yeah, I'll tell you off camera because I know I want to still be safe where I am. So it's fine.
Yes, okay.
Nothing
we'll do
illegal,
that.
don't worry about it.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's all good for UAE standards.
Correct. Well, I shot in Bangkok, so it's okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter then.
Yeah.
But no, thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
joining
much.
me,
Thank
and I'm
you.
sure we'll just can't wait to see
Yeah.
what you continue to do.
Yeah, and people who haven't seen 3, they can still watch it. If they miss it, they can watch it in Chinese with subtitles. Hey, it's all good.
Yes, wonderful.
Yeah.
I'll put all of the links in the show description as
Thank
well.
you.
Amazing. Thanks,
Thanks.
Nayla.
Thank you.
I always go to clap, but it's a bit weird. So thank you. Signing out.